confusion and questions surrounding creatine monohydrate. So is creatine safe and effective, or is it dangerous and overhyped? I'm Lane Norton, natural pro bodybuilder and PhD in nutritional science. With my background, I'm here to help you discard gym science and get to the true science. Let's clear the field and cut to the core. Creatine monohydrate is one of the most heavily researched and widely debated supplements available, ever. It's also one of the most effective. Learn what it is, how it works, and how it could aid your physique goals. Let's start at the top. Creatine monohydrate isn't some super chemical. It's actually an organic acid found naturally in food and exists in significant quantities in meats like beef and fish. Creatine is made from a combination of 3 amino acids, glycine, methionine, and arginine. In humans, approximately 95% of creatine is stored in skeletal muscle, where it exists as creatine phosphate and can donate its phosphate molecule for certain metabolic processes. We'll discuss the importance of this in greater detail soon. If you're wondering whether you can benefit from creatine supplementation, consider your fitness goals. Creatine is primarily for people who are looking to maximize muscle, strength, and/or performance gains. So if you're trying to get bigger, stronger, maybe even lift a little longer and heavier, creatine can help. Creatine supports these goals because it can be used as a source of energy for anaerobic work, which includes high-intensity weight training and cardio work like sprinting. Supplementing with creatine monohydrate has been shown to significantly increase the concentration of creatine in muscle. Remember that in muscle, creatine is found as creatine phosphate and can act as a phosphate donor. Our body's energy currency, a molecule called adenosine triphosphate or ATP, happens to use phosphate to power certain cellular processes. During exercise and other activity, ATP is broken down to adenosine diphosphate or ADP, whereby it loses one of its phosphate molecules. While it's a bit complex, it's important to know that the loss of this phosphate is essentially what provides energy to power your cells during any activity, including exercise. As your ATP stores become depleted, your performance can suffer. Creatine phosphate can help restore ATP levels by donating its phosphate to ADP to reform ATP. In this way, creatine can help improve performance and has been shown to increase strength and power. While all this performance and strength stuff sounds great, I'm sure you may be wondering what creatine will actually do for your physique. Creatine has been shown to increase lean body mass, mostly through increasing the fluid content of muscle cells. While this may seem like an artificial increase in lean body mass, keep in mind that muscle cells that are better hydrated are also more anabolic. Additionally, a study performed at the Institute of Sports Medicine in Copenhagen, Denmark, showed that creatine supplementation increased the number of muscle satellite cells in response to strength training. Satellite cell number is believed to be a major determinant for the capacity to gain muscle. So not only can creatine supplementation enhance your short-term muscle gains, supplementing might also increase the overall capacity for long-term muscle growth. Not so artificial after all. Now every few years, it seems like the latest and greatest form of creatine comes out. Remember, creatine monohydrate is the most common and most studied form of creatine on the planet. It has proven its worth in research time and time again. Nonetheless, many other forms of creatine exist. Too many to name here, but none have shown the consistent results of creatine monohydrate. Fortunately for you, creatine monohydrate is generally the least expensive form of creatine available. So it's great for muscle building, but it won't lighten your wallet. There are two traditional ways of taking creatine monohydrate. You can take 3 to 5 grams per day depending on your muscle mass, which will saturate your intramuscular creatine stores in a few weeks. Or you can load creatine at 15 to 25 grams per day for the first 4 to 5 days, after which switching to the traditional 3 to 5 gram dose per day. This will saturate the muscle cells more rapidly, and while loading saturates the muscle cells faster, the downside is that you do not assimilate the majority of that creatine. So those on a budget may consider it wasteful. Most people consume creatine post-workout since it's been speculated that taking creatine after training will lead to better uptake of creatine into the muscle. In all likelihood, however, this is splitting hairs. Consistent supplementation of creatine at 3 to 5 grams per day has been shown to saturate muscle cells, mostly regardless of time consumed. Therefore, I suggest consuming your creatine whenever it's most convenient for you. Creatine has been shown to work synergistically with both beta-alanine and HMB to increase lean body mass. So users who want to maximize creatine's benefits should consider supplementing with those products as well. There is some research suggesting long-term creatine usage may lead to desensitization of the creatine receptor in muscle tissue. However, it's unclear as to whether or not this actually leads to a decrease in muscle creatine concentrations. Since the benefits of creatine are achieved by maximizing muscle creatine concentrations, we can't say for sure one way or another at this time if it is beneficial to cycle creatine. As a rule, I recommend purchasing supplements from companies that can provide lab analysis of their products. This ensures that what's on the label is actually in the bottle. Based on current research, it appears that creatine monohydrate is the most effective creatine product available on the market today. If you're going to spring a few extra dollars for anything, then go for a micronized form of creatine monohydrate to improve mixability. When creatine was introduced to the market as a supplement in the early 90s, many anecdotal and theoretical side effects were brought up as potential concerns, including kidney, liver problems, dehydration, and cramping. Thus far, short and long-term research studies have demonstrated no side effects from recommended creatine doses on kidney, liver, or the heart. Additionally, creatine has not been shown to increase the incidence of cramping. There is some evidence that creatine can increase dihydrotestosterone levels. Some have theorized that this may cause an increase in acne, but this has yet to be demonstrated. Strong anecdotal evidence exists that some users may experience gastrointestinal distress when loading creatine. This is likely caused by excess creatine intake exceeding the GI tract's capacity to absorb it, which could lead to gas and cramping. If you experience GI distress during creatine loading, try reducing your creatine intake until you reach a comfortable level or skip loading entirely. Finally, if your physician has advised against you using creatine, then you should avoid it.
Transforming my body has been an incredible journey, and healthdesigns.com has helped me the entire way through. I wouldn't go anywhere else for my sports and fitness formulas.
Order over $49 and get free shipping direct to your door.